It's day 6 of the government shutdown, and Republicans still don't seem to get it. They're badly losing the messaging battle, with poll after poll after poll showing that voters want healthcare tax credits extended and blame Trump and Republicans for dragging us into a shutdown. Democrats are focused. We want to reverse the cuts, lower the costs, and save healthcare to reopen the government. Republicans, they're all over the place. For months, they refused to negotiate, even as more and more Americans started getting notices that their healthcare costs were going through the roof. Then the Republican message shifted to how they didn't want a shutdown. But after refusing to do their jobs to avoid a shutdown, Republicans left town. There were a few that stayed behind, though. They still had their fundraisers at fancy steakhouses to attend. But now that we're in a shutdown, the Trump administration is relishing the chance to inflict maximum pain and fire thousands of furloughed federal workers. And while Republicans point out that Democrats have voted for funding extensions before, which is true, 13 of them under President Biden, they fail to mention that each of them was negotiated in good faith and in a bipartisan way. Of course, the cherry on top of the Republican ice cream sundae of lies is that Democrats are to blame and that our demands are radical and unreasonable. So here are our demands. We don't think you should have to spend hundreds, if not thousands of dollars more next year for healthcare because Republicans let these tax credits expire. We don't think it's fair that in their budget bill, Republicans spent 10 times more to shower tax breaks on billionaires instead of doing the right thing and extending these healthcare tax credits. And while Republicans fall over themselves to paint these things as unpopular, we all know the truth. Healthcare has gotten way too expensive, and Democrats are taking action to make it affordable. I'm Hannah Muldaven, Deputy Communications Director for the Democrats, and your host for today. It's Monday, October 6th, day 6 of the Republican government shutdown, and this is the Democrats' Daily Blueprint. Over the weekend, Trump once again abused his power as commander-in-chief to deploy troops on American streets. This is just a few days after his rambling and incoherent speech in front of the military's top brass. And after his handpicked Secretary of Defense, Pete Hegseth, wasted everyone's time by giving the world's worst TED Talk. Trump first tried to deploy the National Guard in Portland, only to have it blocked by a federal judge. Trump's henchman, Stephen Miller, as per usual, reacted very normally. In addition to Portland, Trump is sending 300 guardsmen to Chicago. And when asked, Speaker Mike Johnson said this.
We know that the president just sent in 300 National Guard troops will be sent into Chicago. Again, the governor saying he doesn't want that. Is this an appropriate use of the U.S. military, Mr.
I don't
Speaker?
think you should ask the governor. I think you should ask the citizens who are in fear for their lives and livelihoods
What
in these
say
cities.
you, though?
The problem with that? Chicagoans don't want the National Guard. They want to be safe. That's not a Democratic issue or a Republican issue. It's an American issue. But no one is safer when American cities are referred to as war zones. If Trump and Republicans want to address crime, they could start by restoring the federal grants that they terminated for violence prevention, policing victim services, and juvenile justice and child protection. We know that they know how to do this because after initially stripping New York City of an estimated $187 million in counterterrorism funding for no reason, last Friday, the Trump administration was forced to reinstate it, literally defunding the police. Unbelievable. Democrats are fighting back against these outrageous abuses. Governor Gavin Newsom in California has sued the Trump administration for sending his state's National Guard to Portland. And in Illinois, while Governor J.B. Pritzker denounced these abuses of power as un-American, the state attorney general confirmed that his office, quote, will not hesitate to take legal action in the event of an unlawful deployment anywhere in Illinois. Keep watching this space. So while Trump politicizes the military against the will of local officials, Democrats will continue to stand up for public safety and for our service members who deserve better than this out-of-control administration and its Republican enablers. Now, if you've been watching the Daily Blueprint, you know that we're counting down until elections this November with a segment called 60 Candidates in 60 Days. We're just over a month until the election, and today we want to highlight Carol Sabo, the mayor of West Cape May and a candidate for New Jersey's General Assembly in District 1. Mayor Sabo has the experience necessary to fight for New Jerseyans. She served as a social worker, educator, and as an advocate for families and children throughout South Jersey. Her top issue is affordability, including making sure that families can get the healthcare the education, and housing that build strong communities. To make calls, knock doors, and volunteer with the Sabo campaign, go to sabofораssembly.org. You can find the link in our video description below. Thanks for joining us today for this episode of the Daily Blueprint. We'll be here right with you every weekday at 10 a.m. Eastern on the DNC's YouTube page. Until tomorrow.